Yeah, it's a hot topic.
I know. Go
Everybody
for it.
asks about it, right? Bitcoin. What is it? It's a form of cryptocurrency. It's a worldwide payment system that works without a central bank or a single administrator.
And recently, the currency has been in the headlines as its value soared, leading more people to buy in. But it's also kind of raising questions such as how does it work and how do you even buy it?
Right. For the answers to some of these questions, hopefully all our questions, we're joined by Lindsey Maule, head of cryptocurrency research at Precursor Ventures. You also run, is it a hedge fund or a?
Yeah, it's a cryptocurrency hedge fund called Luna Capital. I run that with Travis Goff and Michael Mazzata. Travis actually co-founded one of the first Bitcoin ATM companies, which is the largest Bitcoin ATM network in the world.
Okay, so first of all, like we just have, it seems like it's kind of like a foreign currency, right? There's an exchange rate, but there's no central bank behind it, like a country
That's
that has
the beauty of it.
So what is the difference? Like, can you describe it in a nutshell?
Yeah, so Bitcoin is just a cryptocurrency layer on top of blockchain. Blockchain is the underlying technology. What blockchain is a cryptographically secured, decentralized database that stores a ledger of assets and transactions on a peer-to-peer network. So essentially, it wipes out the third party. It's faster, it's cheaper. Kind of like how you were talking about Uber, to compare it with Uber. People use Uber instead of taxi now because it's faster and cheaper. People only know about Bitcoin because it's the one that's really in the media right now. But there are over 1,300 cryptocurrencies out there with different use cases.
But it's in the media recently, especially since kind of October, because it's seen kind of this unprecedented activity. Right. And in my reading leading up to this, I was trying to figure out, you know, is it still going to skyrocket? And I can't seem to put my finger on it. Like, some think that there's going to be this Bitcoin implosion, but others are buying into the futures of it and say, no, this has got wheels and it's got legs and it's going to keep going and going. What's your take on this going into 2018?
Well, to think of it, Bitcoin used to be 10 cents, which is insane. There's whatifbitcoin.com, and if you go in and type, if you put in $100 in 2013, you'd be like a multimillionaire right now, which is insane. And really, there's no real intrinsic value of it. The more people that buy it, the higher it goes. And just a portion of the world that really owns Bitcoin right now, and the more that people buy, the higher it will really go. But I heard that there are only I think there are 1,000 people that own 40% of Bitcoin or something like that. Don't quote me, but I've seen it somewhere, and it seems like the real people that kind of control the price are
and you're saying, though, no real intrinsic value. Like, real investors, old school investors, are dumping gold for Bitcoin at this point. But is it easier to steal, easier to hack? Like, you just have to hack in then to steal, right?
Well, the best...
No bank robberies at this point.
Well, I do advise to not keep your money on the exchanges. You should have cold storage. You can get the Nano Ledger S or a Trezor, and then store it offline, and no one can hack you there. And then when you sign up on Coinbase or something, to download Google Authenticator or Authy, which basically allows you to have a 6-digit code, and you can plug it in before you enter your password onto these platforms so that no one could ever get inside.
It still sounds complicated.
So, but let me ask, because there could be people at home who
I'll help you out later.
Who aren't tied. People at home who aren't tied to Bitcoin, who may be just your casual trader that they do themselves. So, kind of back to the theory of the Bitcoin implosion. If that were to ever happen, would that affect the market, the stocks of those people at home who just trade day to day? Is it that powerful that you think it would play a role?
Well, there wasn't one company, what was it, a lemonade company that added Bitcoin or blockchain onto the name, and it rose up like a couple hundred, like 500% or something. The name is such a buzzword right now that essentially that could really affect the markets, but I don't really pay attention to the regular stock market. Cryptocurrency is really my world, and the volatility is insane. Things will go up like 100% in a day. Like I said, there are over 1,400 or 1,300 cryptocurrencies. And there are altcoins outside of Bitcoin, outside of the top 20, that go up 100, 200% on a weekly basis.
So we had gold, we have currency, now we have Apple Pay and Google Pay. Is this the money of the future? Is this the currency of the future? Is that why it's a good investment?
Essentially, there are so many other types of currencies that are being built to solve this problem, because Bitcoin was supposed to be this peer-to-peer payment system, but it's kind of like a store of wealth. It keeps going up that people don't really want to make payments with it. I have a friend, Alan Ezer, who's trying to sell his house right now in exchange for Bitcoin in San Diego.
That's all he's taking, those offers, right?
Yeah, right? And I have a friend who's a real estate agent, and he says, this guy's trying to give me 72 Bitcoin to pay for this house. Should I take it? I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
And this was like a month ago.
Don't you think there needs to be more on the regulatory front, or no?
People are working on that. The SEC is really going to crack down. There are a few cryptocurrencies I think that are working on AML KYC, because right now it's untrackable, it's very anonymous.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because this kind of the red flags I've seen too is it's easier for criminal activity, drug dealing, weapons, because it's untrackable.
Well, so I spoke to a few friends like a month ago, and there was this one person who didn't know anything about it, and he was like, I don't want to touch Bitcoin, it's about drugs, but it's been changing over time. It's extremely revolutionary, and it's about the technology more so than the cryptocurrency. And there are so many use cases for it. In the early days, yes, it was this anonymous thing where people could exchange back and forth across countries and get drugs. But honestly, it's this like easier, faster payment system, a more safer, or I guess people are beginning to trust it over time. The governments are paying attention to it. I think that it's going to be something that's integrated into the system and extremely revolutionary. And I think in the next 5 years, most people in this world will have a cryptocurrency.
Well, based on what we saw this past year, who knows what 2018 holds for it. So.
Right.
I think it's going to be a bigger year than 2017.
Right. Lindsey Maule, thank you. Appreciate your time.
Yeah,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right.